Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the East Texas Lighthouse for the Blind topic of the month. Today's topic is recreation and leisure ideas for summer. And our presenters today are Lee Tilson and Jarrett Gist. Jarrett, you can go ahead and get us started.
Okay, sure. Hey guys, my name is Jarrett Gist, and I'm an orientation mobility instructor here at the East Texas Lighthouse for the Blind. And this is going to be a really fun topic, recreation and leisure. Got a lot of good ideas and a list of things to go over. And Lee Tilson is also here. He also works at the East Texas Lighthouse for the Blind. He is a VP, and he has some amazing ideas too. He's he's done multiple Ironmans. We both really enjoy running. Lee also, he obviously enjoys to swim and bike, and we both really enjoy staying active. So this particular topic is right in our wheelhouse. I guess, kind of just starting with, saying, recreation and leisure is super important for a lot of reasons. It's good for your mental health, obviously. It's good for your physical fitness, your overall just well-being. And so when we talk about activities, we really want to, I think it's really important to find activities that you have some sort of interest in. I know everything that sticks for me personally is something that I have a genuine interest in, or I develop more of an interest for, and that I have a passion for. And so sometimes, you may not even realize you have a passion for it until you start really diving into it. But that really helps for that to stick and help you to have some momentum in learning more about it. So doing things that help you grow is important, right? So it helps you to develop character and understand more about, what's going on out there. It can also help with just simple conversations with other people. Just because you've had some experience with that. When we're doing things that are challenging, that is super important, I think, for everyone. Is you have to push yourself so that you learn more about who you are, and that's just great for character development. For instance, I'll start with this one kind of as an example. So like fishing. So I am legally blind. So I had perfect sight until I was 19, 20, and I still have quite a bit of good usable vision. I have something called Stargardt's, which is kind of like macular degeneration. So my central vision is very poor, but my peripheral is intact. And as a result, detailed vision is very difficult. So, I loved fishing growing up. The thing about fishing is that, for anybody who's low vision, obviously trying to thread your string through a hook is incredibly frustrating. So I, just as an example, I love it, but I hate it for those reasons. Whenever I'm planning something like going fishing, I have to obviously get my hook and put it under a CCTV and thread it and tie the knot. I'll even look at YouTube videos for different ways to tie those knots, and then put it under a CCTV, a magnifier, and then get that set up and ready to go. The thing that I love about fishing is because some of that, a lot of it is non-visual, just getting your line out there in the water and just keeping your finger on the line itself and just feeling, whether or not you're going to get a bite and that sort of a thing. So, there's some things that I really enjoy about it, and there's some things that I don't, just because of the detailed work that you have to have. Kind of moving on to working out. So working out, super important for me and for Lee as well, which he'll expand on more here in a sec. Is just that, so finding a way to have consistency, I think, is really important. We work out almost every day of the week. And so finding something that keeps you active, it just makes you, it makes you feel better. There's just so many great benefits to it. I know for me personally, finding a small space in my home, I've turned a small room into a personal gym, because for people that can't drive, being able to get to the house and then just have what I need there. So getting a couple of dumbbells ready, some basic workout equipment, starting small and then building it up from there. And then as far as like developing a workout program, I know, there's a lot of different ways to do it. I enjoy those Beachbody programs because it's like having a personal trainer with you. They're relatively cheap. You can even stream them these days. I think it's $100 a year, and you can stream every single video workout program that they've got, or you can purchase the different programs like 50, 60 bucks and just put them on a DVD player and go from there. But those are really great for keeping you regimented, and a lot of those programs are like 30 minutes. So like I try to set aside 30 minutes a day, at least, where I'm physically active. As you guys know, I mean, it's good for your physical fitness, but also your mental well-being. Honestly, working out helps me to I feel mentally sharper. I just feel more equipped to handle the daily stresses, different things that come my way. I just think about it more clearly. So finding a way to develop some sort of little personal gym, because you can't just get in the car, or for most of us, right, we can't just get in a car and drive to the gym. And that burns a lot of time too. You got to get there, you got to orient yourself around and work out. So for those reasons, that's the way that I enjoy when I work out. As far as running goes, I know Cassandra on here, and we've actually tried some tandem running, which was really cool. So there's like a 2-minute video out there on YouTube that's about, it's just, if you just go to YouTube, you just type in like tandem running for the blind, there's like a 2-minute video, and they just talk about using a simple tether system that you can develop with like a wrist strap, or tying it in a different way around the hand. But that's really great. Cassandra and I went on like I think we might have gone on like a 2-mile run or something, and it worked really well. And so, we talked about, at the school that she goes to, there's not like a track cross country program. And so we were just talking about, well, how can we integrate this with family members, and just to maintain that, because it's something that she enjoys. Let's see, if we go on more for running, I know Lee wanted to talk about, Lee, you want to jump in, and you can kind of, if you want to talk more about your experience and maybe some safety issues for sides of the road and stuff like that.
Yeah, you bet. So mine may be a little more extreme, just because I've progressed to that extreme. I guess a lot of people deem it extreme, but running, swimming, and biking, and ultimately doing Ironmans. I started doing triathlons in 2009, and it just progressed into it. And I can go into detail about my past later, but to echo what Jarrett was saying, finding something you like. I found what I thought I liked when I was younger, but turns out I didn't explore everything, and I ended up liking something different. So growing up, I know it's a little different these days. It may give my age away, but back in the day, it was no problem for parents to let kids just be free and go out and play. There was really nothing to worry about. Our only rule was be home when the street lights come on. That's when you need to come home. So we stayed outside all the time. And let me back up too. I'm visually impaired as well. My vision has gotten progressively worse as I've gotten older. I have optic nerve atrophy, and it's to the point now where it's 2400 in my right eye and 2800 in my left. But at the end of the day, I never, even though I may had some bumps and bruises along the way, I really explored every outside activity there was, and had to figure out what would work for me and what wouldn't. Baseball being one of them. Getting hit in the head too many times with a ball, it was easy to make that decision. That just wasn't the sport for me. Softball, however, a little different. So I've always been active. Didn't really until now, or at least 10 years ago, really realize the importance of what being active does for you as a whole, as a person. Jarrett mentioned it earlier. It creates a discipline. For me, Ironman, there's so much time dedicated towards it. It kind of keeps me out of trouble too, keeps me focused, and it's a lot of preparation. So it brings about an abundance of discipline that you will gain in your life from doing that. One of the things I think before you do any whatever your definition of recreation and leisure is, before you do that, you need to prepare your mind and body to take on that event. And to me, it always starts through nutrition. So what I eat is very, very important, especially when I'm not currently in a active training program to do another Ironman. I always work out all the time, 5-6 days a week. But so nutrition is important now, but it's not as important as it is if you're going to do something that extreme. So eat right. I think one of the worst things to do is, and don't consider recreation and leisure as going to Whataburger, right? Going fast food. Stay away from that stuff. Try to find out a good, healthy, balanced diet that'll help, because I promise you, even if it's just going for, let's say, a nature walk at a Tyler State Park, if you're not properly you don't have the proper nutrition, water, you didn't eat right, you didn't have, because carbs you burn out real quick, and then all of a sudden you're in the middle of a 4-mile walk and you're, I don't feel good. So nutrition is number one. Jarrett touched on this also. A space inside to work out in. I would turn this to the right to show you, but I've got I have my triathlon bikes over, and they're on a stationary trainer. So you can ride a bike if you like riding a bike. You don't feel comfortable because of your vision. You don't have to go outside and try to dodge all these crazy drivers in East Texas. You can do it, right inside your house. So I don't like it, but sometimes you just have to do it. I'm a little different. Well, I'm a lot different, but let me back up. Regardless of your vision, I think it's very important and to be as safe as you can, try and experience different activities to find out what you like. Because earlier, when I played football and soccer and track, I didn't find out till later in life that I love triathlon. Absolutely love it. So, you get to swim, you get to ride a bike, you get to run, you'll have crashes along the way. But if I didn't, well, I guess part of it was I didn't grow up around people. So expanding your horizons and meeting new people that are involved in different activities, whether it be, somebody who plays frisbee golf, who cares if you can't see it? It may take 3 extra shots, but go try it, do it, and I think you figure out if you like it or not. So one of the things that's kind of come up lately, and I mentioned this to Jarrett the other day, and I guess it's if you're a part of being in a walking or a riding a bike type deal, you kind of understand safety. So safety is very, very important, right? I even realize that I have all the proper gear, lots of lights. I want everybody to see me because I can't necessarily see them. But one of the things I've noticed, and it's great, and I hope it continues. So recreation and leisure in our neighborhood has been, it's probably 500 times more than it was before we were all quarantined. But what I see all the time, and I'm trying to communicate with Stephanie, who's over Tyler Parks and Recs, to see if they'll do a public service announcement, but understanding which side of the road to walk on, which side of the road to ride your bike on is very important, because I see that all the time. If you're walking, always walk against traffic, because you can't, those cars will sneak up on you. You can't see them. So it's always good to walk against the traffic. When you're riding a bike, you have to follow the rules of it's actually law that you're supposed to ride on the street and not on sidewalks. Now, there are many times where I don't abide by that law just because it's not safe. Our streets in Tyler aren't set up, for cyclists, but and it's also, if there's a sidewalk, you're always supposed to walk on the sidewalk, and only in the street if there's not a sidewalk. So understanding kind of the rules of whatever activity you're doing, etiquette, the rules is also very important. So,
Excuse me a second.
yeah.
Can I just quickly ask you to explain to the kids what you mean by against the traffic?
Again, okay, so two-way street, right? The street outside your house. When you always drive on the right side of the road, correct? When you walk, you need to walk on the left side of the road and walk towards the car that's coming at you. What you don't want to do is, because especially these days with these battery operated cars, if there's something that's kind of distracting you, you may not necessarily hear that car coming up behind you. And if you don't, you're certainly not going to see it because you don't have eyes in the back of your head. We hardly have eyes that work in the front of our head. So you want to walk on the left side of the road going towards the car so you can see it coming at you. Very, very important.
Thank you.
You bet. Let me see some of the other things. I love playing Frisbee golf. I'll just go through some of the things I love to do. And like I said, it may be extreme, but I don't know everybody's vision. I'm pretty blind myself, so whatever.
Lee, I didn't know you like disc golf, man. I love that.
I do. Love disc golf. I love playing golf. I play probably twice a month. Yeah, I'm not, it's just whatever. You just got to take it for what it is. You're not going to, unless you're really, really good, you're not going to shoot. So don't worry about the score. Just go out and have fun, enjoy the course. That's really all it's about.
It seems like the targets aren't bright enough for disc golf. You know what I mean? They're usually just at chain link stuff.
You can use audio.
Oh, you can? That's a good idea. Yeah, you can carry, I guess that. I always carry a pair of binoculars with me, a small pair.
Yeah.
And that's so when I'm at a distance, I can at least kind of see what general direction I'm throwing. As I get closer, certainly it comes into a better view. But
yeah, that's what I do too. I bring a binocular with me, and I just kind of spot it. But if it's a course I'm familiar with, I pretty much know just about where once you run the course, you'll kind of get a better idea of, oh, okay, now that I've done this and I'm playing it again, I remember about where that basket is. So you try to get it to where you think it's going to be.
Cool.
Definitely. Our family and I, we walk almost every day, even though we exercise. So we exercise in the morning, and we get our stuff in early, and then we always try to walk in the afternoon. 20 minutes a day. The running coach at Robert E. Lee, Dennis, he's a cross-country running coach. He's a great guy. Regardless, he says just always try to get at least, I know Jarrett said earlier, get 20 minutes of some sort of cardiovascular exercise in to get that heart rate going. It does wonders. Even 20 minutes. It may not be a lot, but it does wonders at the end of the day, because part of my job at the Lighthouse is I have to travel quite a bit. And the biggest challenge is finding time. So it brings about discipline. You have to do it. I'm not saying it always happens, but at least because I promise you, when you get into exercising and then you don't do it, you start to feel depressed a little bit. You're like, what's going on? And you may be feeling that already, but it's because you're not working your body. And working your body helps your mind. Eric mentioned earlier, keeps you sharp, keeps you focused. And you especially need that is when you get older like me. So we're going to do another, my goal, now that I found this, it's just finding the time, is to do 12 Ironmans, because I have a goal. Once I figured out what I liked, I have a goal. I want to do the Ironman in Kona, Hawaii, but I'm never going to be I'm never going to be fast enough to qualify. So I'm gonna at some point, I may be 65 or 70 years old when that happens, but I found something that works and it makes me feel good, and that's what's important, regardless of what that activity is. Fishing, camping, there are tons of them out there that you can find. Stand-up paddleboarding at Lake Tyler's really fun. And I don't know if they have it today, but you can go out and rent a stand-up paddleboard. That's fun. If your vision isn't really good, just go out for a nature walk. Go to Tyler State Park. It's beautiful out there. Just get out and enjoy the outside. Vitamin D is a critical aspect of feeling better also. So you're just able to get outside and sit. I mean, if you can't get out to do something, go sit outside, at least get some sun. So be active.
Yeah, and to speak more on just being outside, and even if you're just sitting or not doing something real physically demanding, I put in here gardening just as one. I don't know, that might sound boring, but I didn't even, like Lee was saying, some things you don't discover till you get older, but I think we're constantly doing that. And it is neat to do that, because you begin to discover new things that you didn't realize you liked. And so gardening has become something just as one where, you're outside, you're getting vitamin D. So I've done everything from building a raised bed, like an 8-foot by 4-foot raised bed garden. And that's a lot of fun. You learn more about plants and spacing of plants, and it gives you something on a daily basis to take care of, that's not crazy hard to do. I'm just getting some water on those plants, learning about fertilizer and different mixes of soil. And then I've gone all the way into the hydroponic growing. So soil is growing. And I just watched a lot of videos. It was something that I just began to have a genuine passion in, right? And so anything that you are passionate about or just are like really interested in, I just start watching videos, I'm reading all about it, and I'm learning all of these things. And so now I've created this entire pipeline rig in my backyard. It fits for 24 plants, and it's like a 4-inch PVC pipe with just water and nutrient solution, and then it just goes into a reservoir that circulates. But man, you can grow all kinds of stuff, and it grows so much better hydroponically that I just, I kind of feel like a mad scientist at times, but it's a lot of fun. And especially during this pandemic, I mean, it's, people are like losing their minds, and it's, I like getting out, growing stuff. And, if you're growing, it's great for growing cucumbers and tomatoes. And, I learned a lot about different types of tomatoes, all the way to the point of, the difference between a hybrid tomato and an heirloom tomato, and learning that an heirloom tomato is a non-genetically grown tomato that you can actually clone the plant and reproduce copies of it. And so like it gets crazy, but it's like, wow, I never knew all of these types of things existed, and then like Lee was saying, for camping, I'm not big on camping, but I'm actually been considering it more and more, just because we're so limited on where we can go and what we can do. So I'm actually looking at like, tents and different types of setups for that. I mean, we've got a fire pit in our backyard, and that's been a lot of fun for me and the kids, just to, to set up a fire, and then, even to try to ignite a fire with a flintlock, which is incredibly difficult. But, just different ways. And then thinking about organization and planning. If you were going to go on a camping trip, man, there is so much involved. I've started creating a list, but you could really get overwhelmed. But I think creating a list helps you to kind of stay organized and figure out, okay, what am I going to need when I'm out there, for 3-4 days or 2 days or whatever it is. But like Lee was saying, for the Tyler State Park, man, that's a really neat area. I don't know, I heard something, Lee, like they were saying, what, like 25% capacity for Tyler State Park? I'm not sure how open it is.
Yeah, that's a lot of people and that many acreage. I don't
know. Yeah, right. Like they're going to do a head count.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, man, kind of expanding. I'm just thinking more and more about this too. Even if you're playing video games, I started thinking, because I like playing video games. It's a big time drain. It can be. but it's fun, right? As long as you don't get, as long as you don't get too involved with it, right? It's not good to stay stable and stationary for too long. But video games, there's a lot of good accessibility on these consoles that they've got these days. Like the PS4, you can go in the settings or Xbox One, you can go into the settings on the console, and actually they've got magnifier settings. So like on my PlayStation, if I press the PlayStation button and the square button, it turns on magnifier like it does for zoom text. So for people with low vision. And then there's all kinds of contrast settings and brightness settings. And so, for me, I've been playing video games ever since the first Nintendo came out, but it's just something I enjoy and enjoy playing with my kids. With low vision, with the accessibility, it makes it more enjoyable. I don't have to cram my head 2 inches from the screen to read this tiny text. I can use the magnifier capability, and that makes it a lot more enjoyable. So yeah, video games can be fun. What else did I? I just played yard games too. Things like ladder ball, cornhole. Right, cornhole is hard. Lee, do you play cornhole at all?
I beat Summer 3 games in a row last night. Yeah, we play.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah,
that's awesome. So
yeah.
Some of it's just muscle memory, right? And just kind of gauging.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I know where the hole is. It should be centered within that box.
Mm-hmm.
So just trying to sink it.
Yeah.
But I mean, like I play badminton with my kids. I don't know. I'm surprisingly able to hit the badminton. I don't know, like it. I have to be very careful though with the positioning on what side of the court I am and the time of day, because like depending on the lighting, I can hardly see it fly over the net. But if it's more backlit, or if I've got like trees to cut up and give me more contrast, I can catch the birdie more often. And so, or if you're playing volleyball, right? So just trying to think, okay, if I'm on the other side of the net, is it easier for me to see the ball? Trampoline, we've got a trampoline in the backyard, riding bikes, mowing the lawn even. I like, actually, I know it's weird, I kind of like mowing the lawn. It just gives me time to meditate and think about things. It can be hard, like I have to wear special contrasting, I wear like, I've got Maui Jim, like they're really good sunglasses for cutting contrast. I think it's like a rose tinted lens that really helps with me being able to see the grass edging area. I mean, sometimes I just mow over areas I've already mowed, but I'm just consciously thinking, okay, if I mow this strip at this distance from the fence line, I'm probably here. It may not always be perfect, but it gets me out. And then, for some of you, I don't really do this, but you might think about maybe photography, right? Getting out and do like birding, or just taking some basic photos or something like that. Or just getting out and having a picnic with your family members. Something like that. Lee, do you have any more ideas?
No, well, just, use any adaptive device that you can, like Jarrett just said. I haven't played in a while, but I played tennis a lot with my friends.
That's fun too.
No good during the day, only unless the background was really dark. But at night, I can play very well. A lot of times in Ironman training, depending on the weather and the contrast out that day, I may or may not decide to ride early in the morning when it's dark. Because when it's dark, they've got lights you can put on your bike these days that illuminate the entire road plus some. But I can see cars coming that have their lights on from much further away than I could during the day. Some days I don't go mountain biking when it's sunny out, especially if there's a lot of trees, because I don't work well with shadows and light.
Good point.
Optics, even though they may not enhance your vision, a good pair of sunglasses makes all the difference in the world.
It does.
And it protects your eyes too, as well from UV light. So just really not giving up on something easy. Try to, do it at different times of day, night, whatever, and find out if you like it. And then it just, and if you start early, especially your guys' age, it's something that you will, depending on what you do when you get older, like playing golf is awesome for business, right? Because there's a lot of guys like to play golf. So at least I can get out there and not make a fool of myself because I've been playing for a while, but it's good. So you're able to engage with other people in the community, depending on, what your profession is in the future. I don't know, maybe if you're going to be a scientist, maybe video games are good for that. I don't know. I'm not big on video games, but it's still, just use adaptive equipment, whatever you need, think outside the box. Another thing to do, if I'm trying to get into something new, I'll listen to podcasts. So I'm sure everybody on the phone, go to the podcast app, and you can download almost any podcast related to any subject. Go to YouTube. That's how a lot of stuff to, hey, what are the best tools to use in this leisure activity? Just learn about it, know more about it up front. That way you're not surprised, and you'll actually give yourself a better chance to determine if that's something you're going to like in the future. So,
yeah.
Robert, can I ask you a question?
I'm sorry?
Yeah, so when you do the triathlons, I mean, every one of the sports involved in that would require that you stay on a particular course. Like, I don't know how you go from one point to the other on the lake without veering. I'm kind of wondering how you keep from veering and end up at the right destination on the other side.
Well, you are correct in your thinking. There's a lot of trust in people that I follow. So I'm never going to be the leader in I'm a leader. I'm never going to be a leader in like when I go mountain biking sometimes, I like to follow my buddy. So, it's a lot easier to see him when he's 10 feet in front of me because he can see the tree that's sticking out, 20 feet in front of him. So it's safer that way. But I do veer a lot. That happens, but I also try to find somebody to get on there. I just keep my eye on somebody and just trust that can see, because, out of the 2,400 people that do Ironmans, I'm sure there's maybe only 10 or 15 of us that can't see very well because they don't have their glasses on or they're blind or something. But yeah, just trust somebody else. Follow their lead.
Okay, that's a great idea.
So, but yeah, I've a 2.4 mile swim course. I've swam 2.7 miles before. I mean, go to the right, then the left, but it is what it is. I know that. You don't get frustrated about it, and do your best to. In that case, I have 4 different pairs of goggles that have different lenses. So depending on the lighting, where the sun is, if there's no sun, some days I have no problem seeing another buoy that's 50 feet in front of me. But some days I can't see them at all just because of the lighting and the
Sure.
Yeah,
so,
there's a lot of glare
question.
on the water, I'm sure.
Yeah, good question. It happens. The biggest thing is just understand you're visually impaired. It's not gonna be perfect. Don't get frustrated, and just go the extra mile to overcome that and just deal with it. Just live.
Yeah, so you can enjoy.
That's it. Yeah, that's all it, I mean, yeah, I never get frustrated at golf. I'm not a professional. I don't care, but I just enjoy being outside. So, and find buddies that, like to play, understand. I play with my daughter a lot. Everybody that I play with, they know they have to watch my ball on my tee-ball. They have to watch it. Otherwise, I'm, 50, 60 yards out, it's gone. So if I ever want to find my ball, I need help. So you have to, hey, watch. And if they're not paying attention, hey, man, stop talking, watch my ball. I need you to watch it because you don't want it to be alone. So don't be afraid to ask anybody for help or to be, kind of your partner, and be upfront with your visual impairment. Yeah. Don't try to hide it because ultimately they're find out. So, but you can do anything. I promise you. There's you can do a lot more than you ever thought you might be able to do.
That's it.
I think that's so huge that you guys are sharing that, because like I have one student who pretty much spends recess just sitting. And I think it's because she doesn't know what to do with her time outside, and
Yeah.
her friends don't know how to help her do what she wants to do outside. So, and I'm just learning about how to help with that kind of thing by watching you guys and hearing what you're saying.
Yeah.
And that's sad. You know, she should be exploring all sorts of cool things like you
Oh,
guys
yeah.
have.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do any of the students have any questions for Lee or Jarrett? Well,
I have a question of, does any of the students play any sports today?
I did play tennis.
Oh, cool.
Then I quit because I couldn't get another coach. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's awesome. Good job. Yeah, I love tennis. It's fun.
Yeah, I don't play any sports, but I was in the high school band for a long time.
Nice.
So being able to, know your routine and everything. Being on the football field, you have the big lights coming down on you. Sometimes you got the sunset, whatever.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to take in all the light and then wanting to, see your surroundings and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I did get used to it because it was all pretty much the same at night. So it took, I'd say, probably a good year to get used to it.
Well, that's awesome. I'm glad you didn't give up on it.
Yeah, good job.
To give it up in a year.
Daphne's mic isn't working, but she was a track runner.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I did track. I was a lot faster, but I'm glad. I wished I would have, like I said, gotten into the endurance sports when I was younger. But track was really, really fun.
Yeah, she's a long distance runner.
That's all. See, I'm so envious. I wish I would have started younger and not lifted so many weights and got so big and kind of bulky, because it's harder to move a lot more muscle down the road when you're going 100 miles versus if I weighed 40 less pounds. Awesome. Jarrett likes to run. Oh, I know what. One more thing real quick. I forgot this, and Jarrett reminded me of it. But something's really fun to do is and you can go at your own pace. Are these like Spartan runs or Tough Mudders where you have to climb obstacles and do stuff like that? Fun. There's some that are 3 miles long and they're not dangerous. I didn't think, but those are also fun to do. There's all kinds of neat themed type events, glow runs that are, those are cool. Lots of cool stuff out there. And I know White House, I understand the majority of you guys are from White House, it sounded like. I know there's not a lot in White House, but there isn't anything. Oh, right now they're doing you can do virtual races. My stepson, he signed up to do a virtual race over a period of time where he paid money, but part of the proceeds of that money went to save turtles. So so we have a kind of a competition going. I don't know if you can see it behind me, but I've got all my medals on the wall. And so he's trying to catch me. But he just got the biggest turtle medal. Ironmans are big races, right? Big medals. He got the coolest medal. So it's like he's got this competition and it's fun. So we kind of created that competition within our family, and I just can't let him. It's good for me. I can't let him catch me. There's just no way. So there's a lot of cool stuff you can do online too. Now that they're not actually holding races. So
I was going to say Brandon was also participating in some sports at the junior high level. If he wants to unmute his mic, he could tell y'all about that.
Cool.
I played football.
What position did you play?
Lineman.
Lineman?
Yes.
That's awesome. That's what I played when I got older. Or my senior year in high school, they moved me to a lineman position. That's awesome. What were you, a guard or a tackle or what?
Guard.
Yeah, offense?
Offense.
Okay, that's
Tackle.
awesome, man. At White House Junior High?
Yes, sir.
That's awesome. My stepson, he goes to Brown. I don't know. He's a roadie. Oh, I guess that's another thing. I don't know if you live on a ranch, but he's into roping cattle. He enters events, and he and his dad, and they do team roping, and it's pretty crazy in my opinion, but it's a good activity. And I don't know if he's going to be a football player. He seems to like golf, and roping is his passion. So that's cool. I'm glad you were able to play football. You going to play in high school?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. That is so awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, just work harder than everybody else, man. You'll fit right in, I promise you. Just let them, just do your best. That's great. Lift weights and eat right.
Okay, it's about time to wrap up. Any closing thoughts before we stop? Well,
I just think you guys are very inspirational.
Yeah, well, thanks for inviting us, Ann.
Yeah, thank you.
Opportunity to talk.
Thank
Good
you.
job.
I hope
I'll get the video up soon.